But unfortunately, yes, we predicted that it may get slightly worse before it gets better. But one never knew that it could get as bad as it has now turned out to be. Creeped in. Some of the assumptions we had at that time turned out not to be quite valid. Some of the assumptions actually collapsed because nobody knew that the situation with the reserves was as bad as it has now turned out to be. And you need the reserves to support your currency. Under the previous dispensation, there was no proper disclosure. And that was neither here nor there. Because there was no proper disclosure, there was no much of a panic as we now have it. Now there was proper disclosure as to the status of the reserves. A lot of speculative component of demand had crept into the equation. And that is perhaps why we find ourselves where we are. And we are now dealing with a major confidence crisis. And until we're able to restore that confidence, the situation may continue to deteriorate.
Wow. So it means facing the reality right now, it doesn't look like we might be getting out of this as quickly, except we restore confidence. So which means it's more speculative and getting people to believe that, yes, your currency is worth what it is worth. Now, you've spoken about the reserve and the impact the reserve has on the currency, but we've heard experts also say that, listen, one of the reasons the Naira is falling and will continue to fall is because the government cannot continue to provide or show the Naira with the dollars that it keeps pumping into the economy, just to balance, to give a balance to the Naira, that the Naira itself has to find its own balance. What really does this mean? Does it have any bearing to it? Is that, or do we need to go back to providing Naira just to dollars just to strengthen the Naira? Can you shed some light on that?
No, the elementary principle is that, the exchange rate is a price. And like any other price, if you want to strengthen the price or stabilize a price, you either increase your supply of that particular product or whatever it is, or you reduce your demand, or you do both. In this situation, the government has taken steps to shore up the supply. I listened to the president during his address to the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, and he gave some assurance, that there was some hope in sight as to how to get some additional dollars to be able to support the currency. That position was also amplified by the finance minister, that within a couple of weeks, rather than months, we should be expecting somewhere in the range of 10 billion US dollars. And that the priority, and this again has been reiterated by the CBN governor, that the priority will be to clear the backlog. Because you cannot be clearing the backlog and at the same time be intervening in the market. It's almost impossible if you don't have the muscle, the war chest to be able to deal with that. And that is what has brought us to this situation. There is so much backlog to clear. And if you don't clear the backlog, you cannot restore confidence. Because the supply to the foreign exchange market is not coming only from what the CBN provides. It also comes from remittances. It comes from, FDI, that's foreign direct investment. It comes also from portfolio investors, and other inflows into the economy.
All right. So now,
but if there is no confidence, no matter how much reform you do, those things will not come in.
So you believe that the 10 billion that will come in, hopefully in some weeks, can help shore up confidence in the economy such that, well, the naira can stabilize? What kind of stability are we looking at? Is it to make sure that it doesn't fall further, or is it to begin to gain strength, maybe reducing to 900 or 800?
Well, it's going to be gradual. First is to ensure that it doesn't fall further. And as the confidence level increases, it will continue to gain strength. Because the confidence situation first will reduce the speculative component of the demand, which will reduce the demand pressure. Second, it will also help to, incentivize supply. That is, those who want to invest in the economy and all of that will be more confident to bring in their dollars when they are sure that if they bring in dollar, the market has the liquidity in such a way that their money will not be trapped in this economy. So those are the ways in which it will influence the stability and the strength.